Hello students, as now we have almost finished with the syllabus, let's have first lecture of the revision series. In this, we will enjoy a quiz competition on the topic Productions and Operations Management. Go through the rules of the quiz and enjoy this music. Doing the right thing doesn't always bring success, but compromising ethics almost always leads to failure. Tools for making this quiz competition was Slack Chambers and Johnston, and I have also used the free source music on the second slide from this YouTube page. The first question is, what are the input resources to any transformation process? The choices are information, materials and customers, people and machines, processes, people and parts, staff, facilities, materials, information and customers. What are the input resources to any transformation process? And the answer is staff, facilities, material, information and customers. Please mark it as the right answer in your sheet and keep calculating the number of right answers or wrong answers in your sheet itself. And in the end, we can have a discussion in the comments below of your scores. The next, operations can be classified according to their volume and variety of production, as well as the degree of variation and visibility. Which of the following operations would be classified as high volume, low variety? Very easy question. Which of the following operations would be classified as high volume and low variety? a front office bank, a family doctor, a fast food restaurant, a carpenter. You need to be faster. And the answer is a fast food restaurant. Which one of the following transformational process is not associated with the processing of materials? Which one of the following transformational process is not associated with the processing of materials? Psychological state, storage, location, physical properties. And the answer is psychological state. What other names may be given to an operations manager? Store manager, fleet manager, administrative manager, all of these. What other names may be given to an operations manager? And the answer is all of these. Next question. There are 5 basic performances objectives which apply to all types of operation. They are quality, speed, dependability, flexibility, and price. Quality, speed, dependability, flexibility, and cost. Quality, speed, adaptability, flexibility, and cost. Quality, speed, error-free, flexibility, and price. There are 5 basic performance objectives which apply to all types of operation. They are, and the answer is quality, speed, dependability, flexibility, and cost. An operation that relies on repeat business would seek to primarily focus on which of the performance objectives? Flexibility, dependability, quality, speed. An operation that relies on repeat business would seek to primarily focus on which of the performance objectives? And the answer is dependability. Next question. What is the Japanese term used to describe a coalition of companies which form a supply network around a large manufacturer and can include service companies such as banks as well as conventional suppliers? Yakamori, Kanban, Kaizen, Kairetsu. Which is the Japanese term used to describe a coalition of companies which form a supply network around a large manufacturer and can include service companies such as banks as well as conventional suppliers? And the Kairetsu. The time taken from the whole design activity from concept through to market introduction is called as product lead time, time to market, product cycle time, customer lag. And the answer is product cycle time. Next question. A possible move to commodity standardization will occur at which stage of product service life cycle? Decline stage, introduction stage, maturity stage, growth stage. A possible move to commodity standardization will occur at which stage of the product service life cycle? And the answer is decline. Next question. Things which directly and significantly contribute to gaining business are termed as qualifying factors, critical factors, competitive factors, or the winning factors. Things which directly and significantly contribute to gaining business are termed as order winning factors. Another term for the bottom up perspective is the concept of hierarchical strategies, emergent strategies, experimental strategies, group strategies. Another term for the bottom up perspective is the concept of which of these strategies? And the answer is emergent strategies. Next question. Which of the following is true of the relationship between the content and the process of strategy? Content and process relationship. They are independent of one another. They influence each other. Process influences content or content influences process. They are independent of each other, influence each other. Process influences the content or the content influences the process. And the answer is they influence each other. The next question. Decisions that influence the workforce organization, planning and control and improvement activities are termed as long-term decisions, infrastructural decisions, intangible decisions, structural decisions. Decisions that influence the workforce organization, planning and control, and improvement activities are termed as which of the following? And the answer is infrastructural decisions. Next question. Look at the statements below and decide to which line on the graph they refer. Look at the statements below and decide to which line on the graph they refer. Market requirements increase, that is, customers demand higher level of service, lower prices, greater availability. The corresponding level of operational capability, that is underlying quality control, cost performance, capacity provision, must also increase. A to C, A to B, A to D. Market requirements increase, that customers demand higher level of service, lower prices, greater availability. The corresponding level of operational capability, that is underlying quality control, cost performance, capacity provision, must also increase. A to C, A to B, A to D. Quite very difficult question. Answer is A to B. Next question. In relation to process types, which of the following statement is true? Project is higher variety and volume than batch. Mass is higher variety than continuous and batch. Continuous has the lowest volume and variety. Jobbing has higher variety than batch and higher volume than project. In relation to process types, which of the following statement is true? And the answer is jobbing has higher variety than batch and higher volume than project. Next question. In relation to process types, which of the following statement is true? Jobbing has the highest level of variety. Batch has average variety but high volume. Mass is lower volume than continuous and jobbing. Mass is lower volume than continuous and higher than batch. In relation to process types, which of the following statement is true? And the answer is, mark yourself. And the answer is mass is lower volume than continuous and higher than batch. Very easy question. Which of the following is not true of batch process? Batch processes are similar in terms of volume and variety to service shops. Batch processes often look like jobbing processes but do not have quite the degree of variety. Batch processes are high variety than mass services. Batch processes have more variety than jobbing processes. Which of the following is not true of batch processes? And the answer is batch processes have more variety than jobbing processes. Next question. Which is the correct sequence in order of increasing process flexibility? Process flexibility. Increasing process flexibility. Project, jobbing, batch, continuous, line. Please read them and let us know. Select your choices. Can we have more than two choices here? No. We'll have a single choice over here. It's very easy question. And the answer is continuous, line, batch, jobbing, project. In process mapping derived from scientific management, what does the following symbol represent? What does the following symbol represent? Inspection, transportation, storage, direction of flow, delay, decision, operation. It's quite difficult question, but being a student of production and operations management, we need to study standard textbooks in which it's quite commonly written symbol. And and the answer is storage. Next question, similar question. In process mapping derived from scientific management, what does the following symbol represent? Storage, decision, transport, inspection, delay, operation, direction of flow. And the answer is delay. Next question, a very similar question. I guess now you can make the guesses. In process mapping derived from system analysis, what does the following symbol represent? Decision, delay, transport, operation, inspection, storage, direction of flow. We have already known the symbol of two of them. We have to make guess out of the other remaining ones. And the answer, decision. In a jobbing process, the main order winning criterion is generally time, cost, volume, capacity, capability, rate of production. In jobbing process, it's a kind of process, right? Job shop. Jobbing process, the main order winning criteria is generally which of these? And the answer is capability. The next, feasibility relates to which of the following? What could go wrong with the design? How difficult the design is to bring to market? How worthwhile a design is? How satisfactory a return on investment the design will give? Very easy question. Feasibility relates to which of the following? I suggest you people not to pause your video. You have to learn how to manage the time as well. And the answer is how difficult the design is to bring to market. Which of the following is not an example of an attempt to reduce design complexity? And the choices are diversification, communality, standardization, modularization. And the answer is standardization. At a restaurant, which of the following is a core part of the service? The preparation of food, the meal, the environment in which the food is served, the provision of the meal. Which is the core part of the service? The meal, of course. It's a very easy question. The next question, where should product or service design start? It should start with the customer. It should start with human resource operations and marketing. It should start with the marketing department. It should start with the operations manager. And it's very easy. Of course, it should customer. Next question. Reverse engineering would be used in which part of the design process? Reverse engineering would be used in which part of the design process? Concept generation, prototyping and final design, screening, evaluation and improvement, preliminary design. Reverse engineering would be used in which part of the design process? And the answer is concept generation. Next question. Computer aided design systems have the following advantages: the ability to store and retrieve design data quickly, the manipulation of design details, can increase the productivity of the design activity, all of these. Very easy question. And the answer, all of these. Which of the following is a potential disadvantage of process layout? Which of the following is a potential disadvantage of process layout? Complex flow can be difficult to control, easily disrupted, low product flexibility, hard to supervise. Which of the following is a potential disadvantage of process layout? And the answer is complex flow can be difficult to control. Next question. Product layout is associated with higher variety than cell layout. Product layout is associated with higher variety than cell layout. True, false, false, true. Is false. Of course not. Product layout is not associated with a higher variety than cell layout. A self-service cafeteria is usually positioned as product layout, process layout, cell layout, and fixed position layout. We have already explained this example in the classroom, and the answer is product layout. Self-servicing cafeteria. First you take chapati, then you take dal, then you take rice, and move on. The layout where the equipment, machinery, plant, and people move as necessary is known as the layout where the equipment, machinery, plant, and people move as necessary is known as product layout, cell layout, process layout, and fixed position layout. Less time for a very easy question. Let's move on to the answer. Fixed position layout. Cell layouts typically are dominated by the transforming resources. Locate transforming resources entirely for the convenience of the transformed resources. Involve all the operations on a product being located adjacent to each other. Cost more to run than other types of process layout. Are the most efficient form of process layout. Few of them seems to be true, but you have to take out or you have to choose the answer which is the most appropriate option. And the answer involve all the operations on the product being located adjacent to each other. And we have already drawn this particular diagram in the classroom. Which objective is not a consideration when designing a good layout? Which objective is not a consideration when designing a good layout? Employee flexibility, inherent safety, clarity of flow whether the material or customers, accessible plant to facilitate cleaning and maintenance. All of them are true. All of them are very near to the answers, but you have to choose which is not a consideration when designing a good layout. And the answer is, according to the textbook, employee flexibility. Seems a right choice to me as well. Gives real-time information on store inventory and stock movements. Is called as in-flight entertainment, electronic point of sale technology, moving walkways, airline check-in, or barcode scanner. A very easy question. And the answer is, which gives real-time information on store inventory and stock movements. And the answer is electronic point of sale technology. The closest one was barcode scanner. I was initially confused between both of them, but yes, the answer is electronic point of sale technology, which is actually the more appropriate answer. Flexible manufacturing systems are reported to have a number of benefits which is not a reported benefit of flexible manufacturing system. Increased utilization, more flexible than the manufacturing systems they replace, increased quality, lead time and throughput time reduction. Flexible manufacturing systems are reported to have a number of benefits which is not a reported benefit of flexible manufacturing system. And the answer is more flexible than the manufacturing systems they replace. But do flexible manufacturing systems do? But do flexible manufacturing systems do? Completely manufactures a range of components without significant human intervention during the processing. Moves material between operations. Coordinates the whole process of manufacturing and manufactures a part, component, or product. Last option. Moves and manipulates product, parts, or tools. But do flexible manufacturing systems do? Completely manufactures, moves material, coordinate the whole process, moves and manipulate the products, parts, or tools. And the answer is completely manufactures a range of product without significant human intervention during the processing. Next. Which of the following is not a dimension of technology? The degree of automation, the scale, the degree of complexity, the degree of integration. Which of the following is not a dimension of technology? You will have to guess in this question because we have not studied this aspect of this question. And the answer is the degree of complexity. Operations may produce goods and services, of course, ahead of firm's order. This is called as which technique? This we studied in capacity planning. Provision stocking, lead driven supply, make to order, make to stock, ahead of the firm's order. And the answer is easy questions, less time. Make to stock. Uses aggregated demand forecast. Uses aggregated demand forecast. And the answer is medium-term planning and control, long-term planning and control, short-term planning and control. Easy question, easy answer, less time. And the answer is long-term planning and control. The next question. When capacity is relatively fixed, services are sold in advance and the marginal cost of making a sale is relatively low. Which of the following capacity plans may be most appropriate? Which of the following capacity plans may be most appropriate when capacity is relatively fixed, services are sold in advance, and the marginal cost of making a sale is relatively low? The options are level capacity plan, chase demand plan, mixed plans, yield management. And the yield management. ABC inventory control focuses on controlling class A items because they are more significant. Very easy question, less time because it's easy question, easy answer, and the answer is true. Next question. What is considered to be the most fundamental criticism of the economic order quantity approach, EOQ approach? The real costs of stock in operations are not considered. Assumptions included in the models are simplistic. The focus on the cost of stock holding rather than on the need to reduce the overall level of inventory. And the answer is the focus on the cost of stock holding rather than on the need to reduce the overall level of inventory. What is considered to be the most fundamental criticism of the economic order quantity approach? The focus is on the cost of stock holding rather than on the need to reduce the overall level of inventory. Next, inventory used to compensate for differences in the timing of supply and demand is known as inventory used to compensate for differences in the timing of supply and demand is known as pipeline inventory, buffer inventory, cycle inventory, and anticipation inventory. And my son is telling that Mahabharata has started. Inventory used to compensate for differences in the timing of supply and demand is known as anticipation inventory. The reorder point is the point when stocks reaches zero, the point at which stock will fall to zero minus lead time. The label inventory will have reached when delivery is made, the point when 1 unit of stock remains in stock. And the answer is the reorder point is the point at which the stock will fall to zero minus lead time. What is a two-bin system? What is a two-bin system? A system in which everything is split between two storage bins. A system in which two full bins of an item are always held in stock. A system in which orders are placed when only one complete bin of stock is remaining. A system in which suppliers deliver two bins at a time. What is a two-bin system? And the answer is a system in which orders are placed when only one complete bin of stock is remaining. MRP stands for Master Resource Production, Materials Requirements Planning, Manufacturing Resource Planning, Management Reaction Planning. And the answer is Materials Resource Requirements Planning. An hour saved is an hour saved, no matter where in the process. An hour saved is an hour saved, no matter where in the process. It's a true or false? Very easy question. False. It also depends where you are saving the time, whether at that particular step, whether there was a requirement to save the time or not. That is also very important, as you must have studied in your PERT and CPM class in much more detail than over here. What does ERP stand for? What does ERP stand for? Enterprise Resource Planning, Enterprise Research Planning, Expanse Resource Project, Expanse Research Project. And the answer is Enterprise Resource Planning. Professor David Garvin categorized quality into 5 different approaches: the transcendent approach, the manufacturing based, the user based, the product based, and the value based. Making sure a product or service is fit for its purpose is which kind of approach? Making sure a product or service is fit for its purpose is which kind of approach? Transcendent approach, the product-based approach, the manufacturing-based approach, or user-based approach? Answer is user-based approach. Is the color of the car to specification a variable or attribute? Is the color of the car to specification is a variable or attribute? Color of the car is a variable or attribute? It's an attribute. If it's a blue color car or red color car or pink color car, that will be a kind of variable. What is perhaps the longest term operations management decision with a global impact? What is perhaps the longest term operations management decision with a global impact? Employee cost, product design, logistics strategy, international location. And the answer is international location. Noise pollution is an environmental issue concerned with which operational management decision area? Noise pollution is an environmental issue concerned with which operational management decision area? Failure prevention and recovery, process technology, layout of facilities, capacity planning and control. Noise pollution is an environmental issue concerned with which operation management decision area? And the answer is process technology. Which Japanese company is widely credited with development of such manufacturing techniques as flexible manufacturing, Kaizen, and Kanban? Nissan, Honda, Toyota, or Mazda? And the answer is Toyota. What does Kaizen mean? Kaizen is a method of stock control involving color stock cards. It is a system of inventory control. It is a system of continuous improvement. It is the Japanese word for total quality management. And the answer is continuous improvement. We had studied the difference between Kaizen and innovation in our last video of quality management. Which of the following is not a distinguishing feature of a service? Not a distinguishing feature of a service. Tangibility, ownership, heterogeneity, perishability, inseparability? And the answer is tangibility. The father of scientific management is Henry Ford, F. W. Taylor, Ali Whitney, Michael Schumacher. And the answer is F. W. Taylor is the father of scientific management. The person who introduced standardized interchangeable parts was Adam Smith, Ali Whitney, Henry Ford, W. E. Deming. And the answer is Ali. Now please calculate your scores, then we will move further. What is your score? What are your total number of rights? You can pause the video and then you can calculate. Anyone having the score more than 55, you deserve to become an operations manager. Your knowledge of operations management is quite very good, and you deserve to work in this particular field in future. Anyone having the score more than 45, there is high probability that you will crack UGC NAN if you are equally good in all other subjects, of course. Anyone having the score more than 35, then you are a good student. Anyone having the score less than 35, then I think you are still a good student, but you need to study this subject a little harder. I hope you enjoyed this quiz competition, and I hope you people will also come with such kind of quizzes in future. Thank you so much. This is Vikas Kumar Tyagi signing out.